Hi, let's discuss about Immortal game played between Gary Kasparov and Tupelo. It starts with a king pawn e4, d6, d4 and nf6 which is a perk defense, knight to c3, g6, bishop goes to e3 and bishop g7 which is the usual theoretical move, queen to d2, here the plan is to do triple O and attack on the king side, c6, f3 and b5, knight g e2 and nb d7, bishop goes to h6 looking for exchange and also to block the double O for black. Bishop takes on h6 and queen takes h6 where black cannot do double O here, and Topolo was also planning to do triple O here, so he doesn't care. Bishop to b7, a3 and e5. Here the plan is to do attack the center and do triple O for black. So white does triple O, queen to e7 where the preparation for triple O is accomplished by black. King to b1 to be in a safer side where black plays a6. Knight to c1, here Kasparov was thinking to move the knight to b3 and then go to a5 and attack the black side. Black does triple O and white is going ahead with the plan which is Kasparov. E takes d4 and rook takes d4. Black plays c5 attacking the queen side. Rook comes back to d1 and knight to b6. Play g3 where it is trying to activate the bishop. King goes to b8 to prevent the check on h3. Knight goes to a5 and bishop a8 where black is not ready to give the light square bishop. Bishop to h3, going ahead with the plan as usual, controlling the c8 square. Black plays d5 trying to attack the center. Queen comes back to f4 and it's a check. King is moving to the safer square, that is king to a7 and rook h e1, so that if white captures the pawn on d5 then it is attack on the queen. Black is a little greedy, that is Topolo, he plays d4 to attack the knight. Knight goes to d5 and nb into d5. So e takes d5 and it's attack on the queen now. So queen goes to d6. Now rook into d4 is a stunning sacrifice done by Kasparov, where Topolo was thinking for 12 minutes for this move. And he finally figured out, like, if king goes to b6 then it is a completely draw. But I don't know what Topolo was thinking in his mind, so he accepted the sacrifice, that is c into d4. Now Kasparov started with all his magical moves, that is rook to e7 check. Now if queen takes, then queen to d4 check and king goes back, queen to b6 check and bishop to b7. Now knight to c6, it's a fork between queen, rook and the king. Now king cannot come to c8 because that square is controlled by the h3 bishop. So the only forced move is king to a8, and guess what? Queen to a7 is a stunning checkmate. So in this position, queen didn't take the rook, that is Topolo didn't take the rook, so he found out that it is going to be checkmate. So he played king to b6 attacking the knight. Now queen into d4 check, and here he takes the king to a nice walk, that is king into a5. Now d4 check and king is forced to move a4. Now queen to c3 protecting the pawn and threatening queen to b3 checkmate. So now black is trying to prevent that checkmate by playing queen into d5. Now the b3 square is protected by the queen. Now rook goes to a7. Here the plan is rook into a6 and it is a stunning checkmate. So there has to be a move to protect this. So a6 and king to b2. Now queen to d4, where black is now looking for the exchange. Queen takes queen, and once the rook takes, then it is going to be rook into a6, and it is a checkmate for black. So this move doesn't work. So instead of playing the rook to d6, the only option for black is bishop to b7, and it has to give the bishop for free. So now rook takes the bishop on b7. Now queen to c4, looking for exchange. Now queen takes the knight on f6, which is free. Now king takes a3 pawn, queen into a6 check, king captures the b4 pawn. Now c3 check. Now if queen takes the c3, then it is queen into b5 check, king goes to a3, and rook to a7. There is no other move except queen to a5, and rook takes, and it is a forced checkmate. So instead of doing that, queen cannot capture that pawn, so it has to be captured by king. So once king captures the pawn, now you play queen to a1 check, king goes to d2. Now queen d2 check, king goes to d1. Here the stunning moves bishop to f1, and queen has no other move because queen is the only one which is protecting queen e1 e2 check mate for black. So it has to give away the queen, that is Topolo has to give its queen, no other go. So if it captures the bishop, then it is queen to c2, and king goes to e1, then rook to e7, then it is forced queen to e2. Now queen takes the e2, and it is a checkmate. So here queen cannot capture the bishop, so the only option left over for black is rook to d2, counterattack. Now Kasparov is really greedy, and he played his magical attack move, that is rook to d7. Now it is pinned by rook, and if rook captures on d7, then bishop captures c4, and rook, if in case like now this queen on b2 is attacking the h8 rook. If black want to save the rook, and if it plays rook h to d8, then queen to e2 is a stunning checkmate. So here black is left with no option, so it captured the bishop on c4. So white takes the h8 rook. Now rook to d3. It is all a clear win for white. So obviously Topolo has resigned the game and captured